On the line right now is Assemblyman Anthony Brindisi. And, Anthony, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I have to say, I had someone reach out to me this morning and say, did you see the looks on their faces yesterday as they were doing that press conference? As if, so my reaction to that was, well, I don't know, what kind of look would they have when they've had the entire carpet pulled out from underneath them and are placed to have to defend and keep this project going? Is that what's happening right now? Are you guys rallying together to save this project, or is it already saved?
We're doing everything we can to make sure the project stays on track.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is a concern that is sending shockwaves through everything that's happening right now through New York State in terms of these nanotechnology projects. But this, as I said to the newspaper, this is a very important project, and we're going to do what we can to make sure it stays on track, because we know in the end it's going to be good for the community. So, we're going to work at it.
It's transformational. This succeeds, and our area is completely transformed. That's
absolutely
pretty big.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's a big deal. And look, the fortunate thing, despite the allegations, which are appalling, and if it's true, they should pay the price. But despite that, none of that is related to the bidding or any of the companies that are involved in the project that's happening here, which is good news for us. So communications are ongoing with AMS. Steve DeMio was in Albany yesterday, meeting with officials about the project. So, the work continues, and hopefully we can not get knocked off track because of this this indictment.
That's what I wanted to ask you, just to be clear. I know the indictment and the charges mentioned Syracuse and Buffalo and all points in between, but Utica and Marcy were never mentioned. So your understanding is at this point there's no allegation of bid rigging or contracts being steered in connection with what was built at the SUNY campus in Marcy.
That's correct. Now, look, the Attorney General and the U.S. Attorney have said their investigations are ongoing, but you know that they looked at this area, they looked at all the nano projects that were involved, and I could say that these allegations against Caballeros have been out there for probably a year now, and our project really came along after some of these allegations were made. So, if anything, there was more transparency and more protections built into any of the bidding that went on for our project. And look, there hasn't. The only company that's been involved at this point is M&W Group, which built the Quad C. There hasn't been any award of the construction project or things like that. So, I'm pretty confident there's nothing wrong with the projects that took place locally.
We spoke with Assemblyman Mark Butler last segment. The Assemblyman saying that he'll pop into the SUNY Poly campus locally to see progress. Recently, he said the trucks have kind of been parked. What's your understanding? Is construction continuing locally based on what's gone on here?
Right now, and the reason why Steve's been in Albany really is just meeting over the design of the building and going over the kinds of tools and things like that are going to be in the building. So the project is continuing. He's in constant contact with the AMS officials to talk about the size and scope of the building. So things are progressing, and the hope is that come fall, the construction can actually begin. But again, look, this sends concerns down everyone's back, and we got to make sure that AMS is comfortable moving forward, given some of these indictments.
Were you surprised by the Caballeros indictment, or did
you hear these rumors? You don't want to believe them. I guess nothing surprises me these days. But the questions I have is the allegations against him. Obviously, he had his favorite contractors when he would build things out in Albany or I guess Buffalo. Whether he profited personally off of those contracts, I don't know. But that's why you allow the criminal justice system to play out, and you hope these things aren't true. But if they are true, again, no one's above the law, and everyone has to play on the same level playing field here. So he should pay the price.
Are you, everybody's at this point concerned what comes next, and Barrara was very careful yesterday in his statement when he talked about the governor. There was no wrongdoing on the part of the governor in this situation, but he did not say that maybe he wasn't looking into something else. What are you hearing on the rumor mill? Is the governor going to survive this?
To be determined is
Wow.
I guess what we're all hearing. I don't think that he is going to be implicated in any of this stuff. I just can't see why he would want to. I don't see how he can profit personally off any of these kinds of things happening. The concern I have really is with the staff that was around him and some of the advantages they took in some of these projects, which is unfortunate. Now, does that say something about him as a leader? Obviously, you can argue that.
Yeah.
But in terms of wrongdoing, I don't see the governor being involved in any kind of corruption scandal to profit personally off of these economic development projects.
All right.
Can you provide some, I guess, information here? Because the U.S. Attorney's Office held their press conference and announced their charges, and then later in the afternoon, Attorney General Eric Schneiderman held a press conference and announced, I guess, his own office's investigation and charges, and Calleros was named there. What is the difference? Are they the same? What is the difference in these two office investigations and the charges?
Well, essentially, what you have from the U.S. Attorney are federal charges that he announced in the morning. There are additional state charges that the Attorney General announced in the afternoon. Look, there's some interplay between the two of them, but they're separate cases. And really, when prosecutors, there's a lot of politics that goes on between prosecutors and who gets to prosecute what charge, and that's something obviously they worked out beforehand. But there's state charges, which is what the AG is focusing on, and the federal charges are up to the U.S. Attorney.
Okay, so but this is basically the same set of circumstances, the same, generally the allegations, just some are federal, some are state charges.
Right, and the allegations for the federal side are really related to the projects in Buffalo, projects in Syracuse, some wrongdoing related to an energy company down in the Hudson Valley. The state charges against Calleros are really focused on projects in Albany and a developer in Albany.
Assemblyman Butler, one of the things that he talked about a few minutes ago is this is really the time for everybody to really work together and to rally around this project because of what it does mean for us here. And you feel that's in play right now? I know there was a lot of scrambling yesterday, and I'm assuming a lot this week. I've heard that that at least there had to be some warning because some of our, like Steve DeMeo, I've heard has been in Albany for the last week, maybe a couple of days anyway. Because did you know this was coming and we're getting ahead of it? What's happening in that regard?
I think it is time to rally together. Assemblyman Butler has always been a strong supporter of the project because he sees the long-term benefits for not only Oneida County, Herkimer County, the entire region. So he's been a great supporter of the project, and we're going to continue to all work together to try and make sure it gets done. Look, no one saw these indictments coming. There's no one that gives a heads up saying, hey, tomorrow so-and-so is going to be indicted. Yeah. Steve's been ongoing working on the project. Edge is probably more involved now than they've ever been. Obviously, that's the one thing about our project. People think, SUNY Poly, and I'm sure Calleros would like to take credit for everything, but it's really Steve DeMeo and Edge that found AMS. They're the ones that went to Austria, that cultivated this company, brought them here, toured the site with them, and really are the ones that got them signed on to coming to this area. So they're the ones that I think AMS has a lot of trust in, and Steve and his group are going to continue to be actively engaged in this project. And as SUNY Poly has moved out of the project, there will be more involvement by Edge and Empire State Development, which is the economic development wing for the state. And really, honestly, that's the way it should be done. I mean, colleges have their roles, but when it comes to economic development, that should be really handled by the economic development professionals.
A lot of talk about AMS. The comment from GE, though, today said they're going to review everything. I don't hear people talking about GE. Are we in jeopardy of losing the GE deal?
I have not heard that. I've heard that things are on track. Certainly, they're taking a lot longer than were initially promised by the governor, but a lot of the GE project here is dependent on some of the things they're working on in the Albany area. Yeah, I hope it continues to be on track because I think that's another great project for our region, but I have not heard recently whether or not they're moving forward.
Got it. Tim in Utica has a question for the Assemblyman. Tim, go ahead. You're on the radio.
Yes, good morning.
morning.
I was wondering if you knew anything about what's going on with that whole deal with Assemblyman Bill Nojay. He committed suicide. Apparently, he was facing charges for fraud, embezzlement, that type of thing. And he was also a talk show host. He had a talk show out of the Rome station, WIBX. I listened to him for years. I used to enjoy listening to him. I just wonder if you have any insight into that whole thing.
I really don't. I knew Assemblyman Nojay. Actually, he was a nice guy. We obviously had different political views on issues, but he's a guy that really certainly would come and try and work together on different things. And I remember, occasionally he'd always pop in my office because we had similar concerns over agriculture and the upstate farming economy, so he would come in and talk to me about that a lot. I know his corruption charges and fraud charges that he was facing were something related to an incident that happened in Cambodia. I wasn't too familiar about that other than some of the things I read in the paper. Yeah. But he actually did win, despite passing away. He did win his primary.
Yeah, he won that.
And I believe now it's up to the state or the county parties in that region to pick who his successor would be.
All right. Okay, Tim, I'm not sure that answers your question, but I don't think anybody knows really what was going through this guy's mind.
Yeah, there were charges here in the United States. I don't know how Cambodia would possibly press charges against him or extradite him, but there were some charges originating here in the United States, I believe.
All right, Tim. Again, I'm not sure that we'll ever know some things unless he's left information behind. I'm not sure that we'll ever know. So, all right, Tim. Thanks for the call, Anthony. Obviously, a tough day. A lot of work has to be done, and let's just hope this thing gets salvaged and it keeps moving forward.
Absolutely, that's everyone's goal, is to move forward and get this project done.
All right, Anthony Brindisi. Thanks for taking the time this morning.